Tá fáilte romh go dtí an tinní mhór campa de chuid an Irish Echo. You're all very, very welcome to the big Irish Echo Campfire. We're going to be discussing today with our friends in Irish America not only how we're going to survive this awful pandemic, but how we're going to emerge better and stronger in the time ahead. And there's another part of that jigsaw. We want to make sure that this vital bridge to Ireland, which is damaged at the minute, that remains open. And if we're going to have a bridge from North America, if it's going to make landing in Ireland no better place than Belfast. And we're going to direct this marathon, wonderful gathering from Belfast today. And the artistic director has started the campfire already, as you can see from the smoke. And the idea of a campfire is collegial, it's friendly, it's a band of brothers and sisters coming together to find a roadmap out of this dreadful crisis we find ourselves in. And I've been buoyed by the 70 speakers we've lined up, by the 600 plus delegates we've lined up, and by their determination to find a way forward. We're really grateful to our partners here, led by the newest distillery in Ireland, Hinch Distillery in Ballynahinch, which is a $20 million investment by a local entrepreneur. And we're also joined by other great partners across Irish America, many of the leading networks and organisations there. To get us started, we're really honoured to have Uachtaráin the Héireann, to have the President of Ireland, Michael D Higgins, with us with his opening remarks. We're blessed in Ireland that we have a President who is both empathetic and erudite, two wonderful qualities in the middle of a challenge and a crisis and a pandemic. Following the President's opening remarks, we're going to hear also from another great hero of ours. That's Mayor Marty Walsh of Boston. Boston, of course, is the sister city of Belfast, but it has other wonderful claims to fame, including being the capital of Irish America, the university's capital of the USA, and the life sciences capital of the USA, and a great landing place for the Irish who have gone west. But first of all, please welcome the President of Ireland, Michael D Higgins, to light the campfire for the big Irish Echo Campfire. I give you Uachtaráin the Héireann, Michael D Higgins.
May I send my best wishes to all those gathered together for the big Irish Echo Campfire, and through you to the broader Irish community throughout the United States. Is cúis mór áthas don beannacht a chur thugh go léir atá cruinnithe le chéile le haig the big Irish Echo Campfire. As we join one another in fighting the global health emergency presented by the coronavirus pandemic, we in Ireland remain greatly conscious of the profound link we share with our American-Irish family, despite the many thousands of kilometres that may separate us. The depth of our connection is maintained and nurtured by the generous spirit of solidarity that has always defined the Irish community in the United States. The Irish Echo has played its own significant role in keeping that spirit alive by providing for almost a century an important voice and forum for our Irish community in the USA. With this event, you continue that vital work, despite these socially distanced times, by gathering Irish American associations from across the USA to discuss together how we might navigate our way safely towards a shared and brighter future. I'm greatly impressed by the breadth and depth of your programme for today and by the wide range of experts who are participating. We all know that the current COVID-19 crisis has had devastating consequences for so many across the globe, impacting on the worlds of trade, business, culture, health, education, among the poorest, and altering significantly how we may interact in our daily lives together. Our response to these challenges will require moral courage, innovation, and resolve as we work to craft a post-pandemic future. Yes, born out of the crisis, but built on a new and better understanding of the values that must lie at the heart of a truly functioning world of interdependence, inclusion, sustainability, and ecological responsibility. One that we can hand on for the caring by future generations. Conversations such as the ones being initiated among you today will be critical to the construction of such a future of possibility and flourishing for all. The Irish story in the USA is one of hard work, resilience, and achievement at the highest level across so many areas of American society. It is inspiring to see that story continues to be crafted in a way that makes us in Ireland so very proud of our Irish-American family. Now, more than ever, is a time for unity and for us to work together in solidarity and compassion so that we not only come through this difficult period, but also craft a better and brighter future for both our nations. For generations of Irish people, creacht and saolaíocht, creativity and imagination have been our greatest resource. I thank you all for taking part in this important event today and for supporting the Irish community in the United States, enabling it to remain vibrant and connected to each other and to the country of their birth or forefathers. Connections matter, and deep in the Irish psyche is the importance of the letter from America that helped in the hardest of times, and the joy of hearing of how the Irish were making their contribution to their new abode. I pay tribute and wish the very best in their efforts to the Irish Echo. I wish you all a most fruitful gathering and every success as you continue your important work. Guim gach rath ar an aber, gur a míle maithe gigaléir, is barbanach don niús don tácaí.
Hello from Boston, Massachusetts. This is Boston Mayor Marty Walsh. Thank you all for tuning in and being part of this special event. I want to thank the Big Irish Echo Campfire for bringing us together virtually during these unprecedented times. I want to extend my deepest sympathies to everyone who has lost a loved one due to COVID this year and anyone who's battling the illness themselves. We've lost leaders and legends and people we love and admire. Many families are experiencing shocking sadness right now, and many are unable to mourn their loved ones in the way they normally would. At a time when they most need the support of their loved ones, they have to keep them at arm's length. And let that be a reminder to us now and always to be patient and gentle with one another. I also want to take a moment to remember John Hume, a hero of mine and many of you on this call. He was a great man who taught us about creating peace for the good of all mankind. I share my condolences with his family and everyone who loved him. This year, we've all had reasons to reflect on the meaning of community, friendship, and what makes us a human family. I'm grateful for the strong bonds we've built between the United States and Ireland, and for the strength of the entire Irish-American community. In Boston, the pandemic is the greatest challenge we've faced as a city in my lifetime, and certainly since I've been mayor. Early on, it was clear how dangerous this virus was, so we took decisive action. In a matter of days, we closed schools, restructured daily life for over 700,000 residents. We put a system in place to keep kids fed and learning remotely while the schools were closed. We brought together city government, healthcare sector, and the business community to build a 1,000-bed field hospital in 5 days. It was an all-hands-on-deck effort to take care of the most vulnerable members of our community. Faced with hard times, a community showed its true colors. I've seen neighbors, businesses, organizations stepping up and doing the right thing. We flattened the curve and maintained the low case number in Boston, but of course the virus is still here. And we are reminding all of our residents to remain vigilant. This is especially important as we plan for the start of the school year for our public schools and colleges and universities. We all have a long road ahead, but we're all in this together. Communities all across the United States and in Ireland are dealing with the same challenges. I think we all agree that when this pandemic is over, we want to create a new, better normal where health and well-being of people is valued above all else. At the same time, we're answering the calls to address systemic racism and address the inequalities and injustices that have persisted for too long in our country. Our country and our world are ready to move forward. Irish Americans have an important role to play in the next chapter. We must be leaders in this work, and as the son of immigrant parents, I feel this strongly. We must continue to stand up for immigrants, people of color, for all working people, and take a stand against oppression in all of its forms. We know how important it is to build community and take care of people who are struggling. Because at one point or another, all Irish Americans were newcomers. At one point or another, we all need to rely on the welcome and the generosity of others. Our faiths, our health, and our futures are all tied together. So let's continue to support one another and remember that we'll always be united by a shared history and a shared hope for the future. And even though we can't be together in person, we need to make sure we keep the bridge between the United States and Ireland open. It's hard to believe it's only been 8 months since I was last in Belfast. I was there to celebrate a sister city agreement between Belfast and Boston that we created 6 years ago in my first year as mayor. And we were there to work together on programs that empower young people and strengthen our economies on both sides of the Atlantic. If you had told me back then that our world would look like it does now, I would have said, you're not right. But let that be a lesson to all of us, to not take anything for granted, to be present in the moment with good friends, and to never miss an opportunity to say what's in our hearts. It's never been more important for us to support one another and to remember that we'll always be united by a shared history and the shared hopes for the future.